Hi guys, this is my first video. Not 100% sure what I'm doing with editing and things, so bear with me while I figure it all out. This is the look we're going to be doing today, which is a gold glittery smoky eye, which was asked for by one of my friends, Georgia. So hi Georgia! So if you want to see how I achieved this look, stay tuned. So I'm going to use this primer first of all. This is a product from Superdrug by a brand called Freedom, and it's priming water. It's really good. I've been using it for about 2 weeks now and I really like it, and my makeup has always stayed on really well with it. So I'm just going to take that, spray it all over my face. It's also got a really nice fresh smell, so it makes you feel nice and awake. And I am going to do my eyebrows first because I'm going to be using glitter today, and the glitter obviously has quite a lot of fallout, so I don't want that to go all over my foundation. So first of all, I'm going to use Anastasia Beverly Hills, or Anastasia, I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce that, Beverly Hills Soft Brown Dip Brow, and I am going to be using my MAC 208 brush. This is a really nice angled brush. It's my favourite brush for doing my eyebrows. It just always does a really good job. So I've got some of the product on the brush, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this onto my hand like this. It just heats the product up. I just think it's easy to work with when it's a bit warm. So I'm just going in underneath first of all, and from about the corner, bottom corner, I'm just drawing a line in soft kind of stroking or sweeping movements, however you would describe that. And then right down as far as you feel comfortable with. And then up here, I'm just trying to follow the shape. I need to kind of over exaggerate my brows slightly at the top so that they look the same. So I'm going to do that here. So up here I'm just building it basically. I like to keep them a nice curved shape, and then join off your tail at the end, and then just fill that in. So here you can see I've over exaggerated slightly, don't know if you can see that, and I'm just going to fill this. This mirror's not great, but I'm just going to fill this, and any mistakes you make you can fix with concealer, which will be my next step. So at the front, I'm not using any more product. At the front I just push my brows up, just to give them that kind of fluffy look. And then I'm just making sure that the eyebrow is filled and looks correct. So yeah, that's a bit long for me here, so I'll go in with some concealer and fix that in a moment. So I'm just getting some more product on my hand, just working that right into the brush. So that is just how I do my eyebrows. That is using Dip Brow and my MAC 208 brush. That is my favourite product for brows at the moment. It has been for a while. I also do like Benefit's Gimme Brow, but this is my favourite. This is definitely my favourite. So yeah, I'm going to go in with some concealer and tidy these up a bit, and I'm using NYX Above and Beyond concealer, and this shade is beige, and I am going to be using a little angled brush from a company called Lottie London, and those brushes are available in Superdrug. This is just my little angled brush here. It's actually really good. I bought it originally to do my eyebrows and I didn't like it for eyebrows, but I do really like it for concealer. So I'm just going to get some of that on my brush, and I'm going to start at the top because you can be a bit heavier at the top. So I'm just starting about here, and I'm just basically painting around the top, not touching the eyebrow. But then underneath you need to be a bit more careful. So I just use the kind of like this top corner, and I'm just going underneath the brow as close as possible without touching the brow. And then I'm just working that down slightly. Now if you have messed up in here or around here, you can use concealer. Just make sure that when you're doing your foundation that you blend it all in so it doesn't look kind of weird. Make sure they're the same length on both sides. And if they're not, you can just add a bit of concealer. And there you go. And that's how I carve out my brows. Yeah, that's what works for me. So now I'm going to do eyes, and the reason I sometimes do foundation first, but the reason I'm doing my foundation last today is because I have been asked to do gold glittery eyes, and I'm using gold pigment, which is basically gold glitter, and it's very messy. So I'm going to use an eyeshadow base, and I'm going to be using Soft Ochre by MAC. This is really, really good. I really like this. I also use one by NYX, which is called, what is it called? It's just an eyeshadow base, but I use the white one. This is when I want to do really, really intense colours and like really bright colours. I use that one. NYX soft fluffy brush. It's number 9 if any of you want to know what it is. So I'm just going to dip this in the Soft Ochre and sweep that. This doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. Like I say, you'll be blending everything in anyway. And then just the same on the other side. Making sure that you get higher up than your crease, because I wear my eye makeup quite high when I'm doing a look like this. So you can take it as high up as you want. As strange as it looks now, it will all work out. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to be using my Makeup Geek eyeshadows, and this little palette. This little palette I received when I went to a masterclass with Jamie Genevieve, and this was in our goodie bag, and isn't it amazing? The colours are amazing. These were all Jamie's favourites, so there's lots of Jamie's favourites in here. So first of all, I'm going to use these. I'm going to basically do my eyes, and then I'm going to add the gold pigment at the end so that it gives us a nice bold look. And I'm just going to take all these out because I can never remember all the names, so I want you to know obviously the names of them. I am first of all going to be using my MAC 224 brush, This is just a big fluffy brush. And the first colour I am going in with is Beaches and Cream. And I'm just going to apply this basically all over the lid. Just soft kind of circly movements. Make sure you get that all over and in your crease. And then this side. So the next colour I'm going in with from Makeup Geek is Creme Brulee, and that's this. And I am just using this in the crease. I always keep my eye open when applying makeup in my crease, so that you have a definite as to where your crease is. Sometimes if you shut your eyes, it can, when you open them, your crease can look, you can either have done the makeup too high or too low. Not for everyone, sometimes it does. So I am just basically using this like a window wiper. Just building that colour in the crease. And then the same at the other side. I like to do my eyes at the same time. Not at the same time. I like to do what I'm doing to each eye. I don't like to do one eye and then one eye, because I have a terrible memory and sometimes forget what I've done or the steps I've done, and then they end up looking different, which is not good, because then you have to start all over again. Okay, so that's in my crease. So I'm now going in with just a darker shade, which is called Frappe. And I'm just going to apply this in here and along my lash line, basically like a V. So just in here. And you can see that colour is slightly darker. You can obviously shut your eye for this bit, if you want to. I'm not going to go out too far with this because I'm doing the glitter and it's quite bold anyway, so I don't want it to be an overly huge eye. Just building that colour in. And then on the other side. And just keep building that product until you feel that it looks good. So it doesn't look like much at the moment, but we are not finished. So now I'm using one of my favourite colours, which is called Cocoa Bear. I'm just going to dip this in. Hold on, I'll let you see it. So this is Cocoa Bear. That's a nice brown colour. So I'm just dipping this in, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this underneath my lash line. And then the same on the other side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this right back into my crease, just to give it a bit more definition. But actually, I'm going to use a different brush. I'm going to use a smaller brush. This is a crown brush, and it is called C433 Pro Blending Fluff. It's basically a small fluffy brush, and it's just a bit smaller, so it gives a better definition getting into the crease. We also got this in our goodie bag when we went to the Jamie Genevieve masterclass, in case you have not gathered already. I'm a huge Jamie Genevieve fan. So yeah, just sweep that right in. Basically try and take that just slightly underneath the other colour so you have a blend. I will blend it all out in a minute. And then the same on the other side. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this is an Urban Decay brush. I got this with my Alice in Wonderland palette. It's a double-ended brush, so I'm going to use this side and I'm just going to blend this better. This is just a smaller brush, so it gets in the crease a bit better. And I'm just going to basically blend it all in so it looks nice and pretty. Just brush that down. So there we go. So now I'm going to go in with Americano, which is a really deep brown colour. And that, I'm going to use the same brush because it's quite small. Just going to take a bit of that and I'm going to put this underneath my lash line. Just on top of what's there. Not going down too low with that though. Just keeping it nice and small. And then again on this side. And then in here I'm going to go over the V shape that we've done at the end of the eye on both sides with the same colour and the same brush. It's just a very small brush for the definition. Okay, so as you can see, that's fairly blended. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the gold pigment. I'm also going to leave out my Cocoa Bear and put the rest of the colours away for now because I will be going back to Cocoa Bear. The gold pigment I am using is by Barry M, and it is gold. It's Dazzle Dust by Barry M and the colour is number 44. It doesn't say, you can see it's really gold. I don't know if you'll be able to see better if I open it. So yeah, it's proper sparkly, proper gold, proper glitter. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use, this is Makeup Revolution Fix and Spray. It's really good. I'm just going to spray a bit on this side, the small side of the Alice in Wonderland brush, so that it's wet, and I am just going to basically pour some of this pigment into the lid. I would show you this, but it's kind of messy. Oh my goodness, that's far too much. Okay, and I'm just dipping this in, tapping off the excess. Okay, and I am pressing this onto the eye. So I'm trying to keep this to this part of my eye. I'm just going to get a bit more. You're better doing this in small amounts to start, because it can be very, very messy. So I've done it right along my lash line. And the front part of my eye. I'm just going to keep building this colour. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that as is. I'm going to blend it a bit. And I'm just going to do the same on this eye. And you're just pressing that right on, which is why it helps for the brush to be wet. Just obviously making sure that they look the same. Okay, so I am fairly happy with that amount of glitter. Go back with my Crown Fluffy brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm just basically going to go from here and just sweep this down. And the same on this eye. So now I'm going to do my eyeliner, and I'm going to be using Bobbi Brown eyeliner with my Bobbi Brown Ultra Fine Eyeliner brush. I had originally been using Morphe gel liner and I do not like it. I just think it's very dry, it's very bitty. I just don't like it. So I'm just going to use a bit of this, and I'm going to do along the top of my lash line and a slight wing, nothing too bold though, because obviously the glitter on its own is quite bold. So And I'm using Urban Decay Perversion Mascara. This is my favourite mascara. I have tried loads and just don't like them, so just working that right from the bottom. And then again on the bottom. And that is my eyes done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my foundation. I'm going to do my face. And I am using 123 Perfect foundation by Bourjois. And this I've been using for a while. I've been using Healthy Mix, which I sometimes still use, but I love Bourjois foundation. It is the best foundation I've ever used. The coverage, everything, I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. So I'm just going to put 2 pumps of this on my hand. And I am using a blank canvas brush. I got this free with a glossy box and it is now my favourite foundation brush. It's awesome, so go and buy one. And I'm just going to... I have redness in my skin, which I sometimes, if I'm not using this foundation, I used a yellow base on the areas with the redness, but this stops you having to do that because it has the 3 different pigments in it. So it has yellow pigments for dark circles, mauve pigments for dull complexion, and green pigments for anti-redness. And when you mix them all together, it makes your foundation go on perfect. So I've pressed it into my skin, so now I'm just using circular movements to buff it in. Remembering to take that down your neck. And don't worry about your eyes too much, because you're going to be going under there with concealer anyway. Okay, so I don't like a heavy coverage, so that would be all the foundation I would apply all over, but you can add another layer if that's what you would like. Some people do, some people don't. So what I'm going to do now is I've done all my foundation. I'm going to use Illamasqua Skin Base. Can you see that? And this shade is actually too light for me. Every time I get colour matched for foundation, I end up too light. So from now on, I'm going to tell them that whatever the shade is, I need one darker. So this is SB06. And I'm just going to squeeze literally a tiny bit of that on my hand. And with the same brush, I just like to do this along here. This foundation is lovely. I really do like it. I just don't like it for a full face. So I'm just putting this along my nose and under here, because these are the areas for me that wear off more than anything. Once my foundation settles, it can look a bit odd if it's not done properly. So I like to put this in, and it just lifts. It's just a nice lift. It's like a concealer, but I'm not using it as a concealer. I'm going to blend it all in. So depending on what kind of look I'm going for is dependent on whether I will do this or not. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a bit of concealer just for round my kind of eye area and nose area. So I'm just going to use the same brush that I done my eyebrows with, and I'm just going to do this under here, up here. This blends really nice, this colour blends really nice with the foundation as well, so. And then I'm just going to take a bit in here. Why not? Now I'm going to use my beauty blender, and I'm going to use this one, but I'm going to wet it first. So I'm going to use some of my Makeup Revolution Oil Control Fixing Spray. I'm just going to spray that all over it. Why do you wet it? Because I think it works better. I think the blend is better if it's slightly wet. So for the larger areas, I'm blending with the bigger end. And then with the areas that are a bit more fiddly, I will be using the other end, like in here. Done. So yeah, that's all blended. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some pressed powder on to set my face. And I'm using Bourjois Healthy Mix. This is a really nice powder. I've been using this for a while, as you can tell. And I'm just using a stippling brush. This is from Wilkinson's. Wilco's. It's really good. So I'm just patting this on. Just to make sure my foundation stays in place. Now I'm going to do some contouring. I do contouring very different. Well, not very different, just different to other people. This is the way I contour. Again, this is how I do it, not how anyone else has to do it. So I'm using my Makeup Geek contour palette, pan, and I'm just using a small blusher brush, and I'm just going to get that on, shake off the excess. And I'm just going to take that right down. Cheekbone. Underneath my lips. Gives the illusion of them being bigger. And then along my chin. And jaw even. Now I'm going to use a really small brush. This is just a kind of flathead brush to do my nose contour. And I'm just going to basically down the lines on your nose. Just like that. Then go back in with my blusher brush and just in here at your temples, on your forehead, and some at the other side. So now we're going to blend all that in, and I am going to be using a lovely little brush, when I can find it, by Lottie London. This is also white London brush, and it's just a kind of buffer brush. I really like this. So I'm just going to use circular movements and buff that in slightly. We're going to be going over it with other products soon anyway, but I just like to buff it in slightly. And that just gives you a bit more definition along the parts of your face that you want to change. So now I'm going to use some highlight. I'm going to use several highlighters. I'm going to use this one first. This is a liquid one. This is NYX Liquid Illuminator Born to Glow. This shade is called Sunbeam. Now, this is a liquid highlighter which took me a while to get on board with. But I'm going to also use my NYX fan brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray. I'm going to take a bit of this, squeeze it on my hand. That's possibly too much. And I'm just going to take this brush and I just want to kind of dab it in because I want to make sure that I don't have too much. Okay, so I'm just going to basically press this along here. And then again on the other side. This also gives the next load of highlighter quite a good base to stick to. So the next highlighter I'm going to use is actually my favourite one ever. It's a pinky toned one. It's from Urban Decay. It's called Afterglow Highlighter. This colour is Aura. And it's pink. It's stunning. This is my favourite highlighter. So I'm just going to be using another small fluffy brush from Urban Decay. And we're just going to do some highlighting. And then the same on the other side. And then I'm going to do all of my nose over the tip of my nose, and we call this Tin Man Nose. And then in my Cupid's bow. And what is happening over here? Highlight. But wait, there's more. I'm going to do even more highlighting because why not? So the last highlighter I'm going to use is actually really, really bright, and it's called Vivid Baked Highlighter Golden Lights, and this is also by Makeup Revolution. A lot of their stuff is really, really good, and it's a drugstore brand. It's in Superdrug. It's very affordable, and a lot of the products are really, really good. So I'm just going to put some of this and shake off the excess, and just go over that highlight. And then in on the end of my nose and Cupid's bow. So now that I am highlighted to within an inch of my life, I am just going to apply some powder, and this is shaping powder. This is by MAC. This product, the colour is Light Sweep. And I'm just going to use a similar brush, almost identical actually, I might have two. And I'm just going to get a good bit of that on my brush. And I'm going to take that down here. Just in the places that I've done the contour. Okay, and then last of all for the face, it's blusher. I'm going to just use a tiny bit of this blusher. This is also a Makeup Geek one, and I'm just using this is a Barry M brush. This is a really good brush. I'm just going to shake that excess off, and I'm just going to apply a very small amount. On both sides, mainly to the apples of my cheeks, and then get a powder brush and just shoot that out a bit. And last but by no means least, we are doing lips. So I am using a MAC liner. This colour is Soar. I don't overline my lips because I look like a duck when I do it, so I just follow the natural line of my lip, and that's me. So and the makeup, the lipstick I'm going to use today is a MAC one, and it's called, you can't see that, it's called Honey Love. This is my new favourite colour. And I think the two go together very nicely. So last of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a bit of Benefit's Gimme Brow, and I'm just going to brush it through my brows just to brush them all up. So just starting at the front, brushing them all up, and then along the tail. And there we go. And this is the finished look. It's fairly simple to do, it's fairly easy, and just if you like this video then give me a little thumbs up and keep watching and send me ideas for new videos. Thanks for watching, guys.